and I'm gonna start. So yeah, we're good, Nick. I think I was out of focus, and now I'm not.
Ready?
Now I'm in focus. Yeah, hit it, Nick.
Hello, true believers, and welcome to Marvel Multiverse Mayhem, brought to you by Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Found on the Genreverse podcast network and also at lrmonline.com, home to all your podcast needs, as well as here on YouTube, where you may be watching it. I get it all, Kyle?
Yes.
I'm getting better. So,
indeed.
Kyle and I just got out. I got out 15 minutes ago. Kyle got out like 2 hours ago from Spider-Man No Way Home. And we're going to do a brief non-spoiler talk and then spoiler talk. And we'll give you a much more in-depth review next week when we look at Hawkeye episode 6.
Yes, that's the plan. So how's it going, everyone? Hit like, share, subscribe, and all that. And No Way Home, spoiler free. Nick, what was we'll there'll be time stamped down below for the spoiler discussion, guys. But what was your just right off the bat, man? What do you grade this before we get into anything on LRM's AB plus minus scale?
It feels like even more than Endgame, it's a movie I kind of need to take in and think about, and even watch the behind like Easter egg videos. Because there is so much in this movie. I would if I went with my heart, I would switch even my order up a little bit and put it behind Spider-Man 2 as my second favorite Spider-Man movie, I would think. So I'll say
A. I went with an A minus, maybe a B plus on a second watch through, but yeah, I definitely don't see this as anywhere near my top spot. It's number 3, 4 if we include Spider-Verse. But A minus is what I felt coming out of the
and I don't think
theater.
It deserves an A plus. But I also need to rewatch it.
No, and I'll say this. There's a lot of things that worked and landed well. They made fun of Sony a lot, which was just great. They show a lot of the
making
with the
fun
villains,
of their accidents when they're talking to each other.
Yeah, with the villains and stuff like that, and just the not just the accidents, but just showing the corniness, like the name. It's a moment we see in the trailer, the name of Octavius, like showing how different the universes are and how this MCU reacts to, goofy names from the comic books, which were corny in their own right, but they do make fun of some Sony stuff, which we'll get into more with this spoiler discussion. But I guess what gripes, what keeps this from being an A plus or a perfect movie for you?
I don't know. Somehow I was expecting, it just never felt super epic, even in like the final fight scene. Like the music was maybe the volume was too low in the theater, but it wasn't like incredibly epic to me. Like it was good. A lot was happening, but like it didn't feel like this is the end all best Spider-Man movie finale ever. It's like, I like the ending to Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 1 better, honestly.
Yeah, it's not a finale.
I mean, the final fight, I'm just talking about like the ending doesn't feel giant, I thought it would feel much bigger than it is, considering the villains you have.
I thought people that were comparing it to Endgame, I was like, you guys are wrong. It's not anywhere near that at all. Like, I didn't even get anywhere near as goosebumpy as I did with, Avengers Assemble, the portals. Like this was a cool, fun movie, though. Don't get me wrong. There's a few things that I did have issues with that for me kind of hurt it. One of them was pacing. There's some scenes that go on again too long, and I'm like, come on, guys. Like, I'm not talking like cutting whole scenes. I'm literally talking like 5 seconds here, 8 seconds over. That shit adds up. You cut out 5 seconds, 8 seconds here and there, make a pan not take as long, make a quiet moment not last as long. And before you know it, you've got 5, 6, 7 minutes throughout the movie that you can shorten up. But it's not just this movie. It happens a lot these days. People will hear me complain about that.
I want to ask you a specific question. Did the nostalgia bother you too much? And I'm going to bring up two examples. I enjoyed it, but I could see where it might be too much. Doc Ock twice says the power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
And I think, and Norman Osborn even says, I'm something of a scientist myself.
So,
which I enjoyed, but that's really like throwing back like fan service.
So, yeah. I don't necessarily think it was 100% fan service. And even when it is, even though that might be where it starts at, I think it's also commentary and an example of they play into their characters and like I said, the corniness of their respective universes very well. I think this was like I mentioned on our prep show the other day, depending on when I release this. I don't know if I'm going to edit it tonight or tomorrow because my ass hurts. Oh boy, hemorrhoids are fun. Too much information, guys. Now you have to cope.
They love us.
Now you have to cope with it. But yeah, man. This, unlike Ghostbusters Afterlife, this did something with its nostalgia moments. It landed. This was the scariest thing. I knew everything, so there's not a single surprise. I hate to tell you guys this, but I knew everything, and we'll get to the spoilers in a minute. But Sony, you guys sucked at keeping
I knew everything
secrets.
Too. Not how it would unfold, but
how it landed was my biggest worry. And overall, I must say they landed it, man. It's not perfect. I still put, right now as it stands, I guess we could go ahead and rank our movies if you've kind of got a feeling, just live action. I would say it's probably Far From Home. I've already explained. I'm a huge Mysterio fan. Homecoming, and then this in the third spot with Spider-Man 2 right behind it. Very, very close, but I'll talk about it in the spoilers section. Followed by 1, then 3, Amazing 1 and Amazing 2 down at the very, very bottom. If I were to include Spider-Verse, it would be above No Way Home in the third spot, I believe. Maybe second.
I was gonna ask you another question before we went to spoilers or say another comment, but I forgot it already.
What's your ranking, man?
Like I said, for now, tentatively, I would put it. I'm still gonna keep it. No, I think it might be number 2. I think it might push back the original Spider-Man, which I love, and keep Spider-Man 2 as my favorite because.
Do you think that might change with more viewings, like go down, or do you think it's likely to go up?
It could definitely change because I do love the original Spider-Man for many of the reasons. I love this movie, Willem Dafoe, but
yeah, I was gonna say you do love almost every Marvel film you walk out of is the greatest ever.
No, I don't say that every time.
Almost every time.
I didn't say that with Black Widow or Shang-Chi, and Eternals disappointed the hell out of me.
This year's been a rough year from
I remember what I was gonna say. The only reason I think it's compared to Endgame is because it takes advantage of what came before it. Like Endgame, it's like we have this movie, we can time travel back to any movie and show you scenes from a different perspective. This is like same thing. It's like we can bring all these villains in and kind of wrap up the villain story in like a way that we couldn't ever possibly thought we'd be able to until this agreement happened. And then someone had the bright idea to be like, hey, we're doing Multiverse of Madness next. Let's do a movie where we can get, bring Green Goblin and everyone's favorite villains, even because people do like Amazing Spider-Man too.
They need to have their heads checked.
Yeah, I'm ready to go into spoilers after a
report
from our sponsor.
Yeah, that'll work. Grow Generation, take it away, guys.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. For all of your cultivation needs, Grow Generation has the right products, service and staff to make your grow successful. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Anyways, we're back, Nick. That's the ad, ladies and gentlemen. See, it wasn't that difficult. What was it? Go check out Grow Generation in the link down below. Spoiler warning flashing. I'm not editing flashing lights. So here's my hands. I'm doing the improv thing, you know, when to show you guys what should be happening. So spoilers, the Spider-Mens are indeed in this.
People cheered both times.
Yeah, they did in my theater too. It is funny though that they do show, and like I said, part of it's fan service, but I also think part of it, and it's, to me, it's showing how corny Sony's 2 runs were. Both
they're talking about webbing. Does it come
out
out of anywhere else? Which has always been my question. It's like, why does it come out of his wrists if he's bitten by a spider?
Yeah.
That's not where spiders shoot webs up.
And it's fun. I was so nervous about how it would play out because I knew they were there. Like, I knew the video they said was, they had the corridor crew say it was fake. I knew it wasn't.
Yeah,
fake.
The corridor crew even said that was fake, but that was exactly straight out of the movie.
And there's all sorts of things that I had already knew, just like the Doctor Strange shit. I already knew, and I could even spoil some more things because there's things that I saw in that.
I must have read something because I somehow knew the plot that it was going to be about Spider-Man protecting them from Doctor Strange. I must have read that somewhere. No, I knew that going in.
I'm talking the Multiverse of Madness trailer at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, they borrowed one more day, 100%, but they actually kill Aunt May off, which was crazy. Honestly, didn't know about that. That's one thing I didn't know about. I knew about Cox. I had actually already seen the John Campea images that got leaked out with Charlie Cox on screen.
That was the first time everyone freaked out, and so did I, especially when he catches the brick. Like, it's already hinting at his powers. He's not just a lawyer. He's like, he grabs it, and Spider-Man's like, whoa, how'd you do that? And he's like, I'm a good lawyer.
Yeah. It's cool. All of the villains were fun. I didn't mind them letting Michelle go by MJ, but did we really need? She doesn't need the last name
Jones
Watson
this whole time. I never heard her called Jones in the other movies. Or
that's
Watson.
What I'm saying. Like, she was her own character. Did we really need that? I would really love to know who wrote that in there to give her the last name Watson, because it's almost like I don't know. It feels so weird because she's Michelle MJ. She's our MCU MJ. I'm 100% fine.
Yeah.
I'm 100% fine with her. But this Watson name thrown in at the end, I don't know, man. It feels weird. Like that feels like a Sony unnecessaryism.
Yeah, I would agree. I really like the banter between the villains and between the Spider-Men. Like when, like, you know, Otto, obviously the people from, like, Otto knows about Norman's death, but doesn't know about his own death because none of them do. And then Electro knows about the lizard, you know, and they exchange the funny exchanges that are cheesy. Like you said, where it's like, I fell into eels, and he's like, I fell into like a whatever. He's like, bad places to fall.
They make fun of Amazing so many
and Spider-Man 3.
And Spider-Man 3 so many times. And I'll just remind everyone, as much as you love it, Amy Pascal herself called the last couple garbage. Those are her words, not mine.
I do like one of the things that Matt Dillon is Matt Dillon's name. Max Dillon.
Max Dillon.
I love that one of his favorite parts is even though not just not being blue, but he's like, I'm not like a geek, or he didn't say that, but he's like, I look good in this universe. Because even Lizard makes a joke. Someone else makes a joke about Lizard, because they both worked at Oscorp, so he knew Max before Max transformed. So he's like, I remember you being a nerdy little guy with like a comb over.
What was the? So you knew pretty much everything as well as I did from all of the alleged leaks, which of course turned out to be very real. Were you surprised by anything besides maybe May's death, or had you actually heard that one too?
I knew someone would die. I wasn't surprised by that. I was surprised how old Tobey Maguire looked, because there's obviously no reason to age him down because he didn't die in his universe. which is on a different timeline, not just a different multiverse. But how they brought in the Spider-Man was interesting. It's like kind of like Spider-Verse, where they're already there and then they meet each other. Where
excuse me,
when they're looking for Peter Parker with the sling ring, they find Andrew Garfield and everyone freaks out, and then you find Tobey Maguire and everyone freaks out, and just all the banter between them, or like the scenes where they're like Peter Parker, and they're like yeah.
See, that was one of those where I didn't need that whole scene. There's about 5 seconds there. You could have gotten the point across that of the names faster. The part where MJ is questioning Andrew Garfield's Peter, that again.
If he has powers, you mean?
10 seconds. Yeah. When
like you had prove it, crawl in the ceiling.
You could have just shrunk some of that down, and that's where I'm really starting to be able to tell, like, my tolerance for bullshit is getting less and less, because those types of moments where I'm like, okay, you like the mac and cheese thing from Hawkeye this week's episode. I love the scene. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't want to remove the scene at all. But there's about 20 seconds in there I would have cut, you know.
And I will say Norman Osborn was perfect, but I really think it was a bad decision not to kill Tobey Maguire. I think it would have meant a lot more if Tobey Maguire got stabbed in the back and died.
I almost got excited. I was like, oh, am I going to be right? Did they manage to hide that? Remember I said, what if you see Maguire die, or Garfield die, and MCU Peter goes to that universe to because they have no Avengers, because they have that conversation.
I love that.
Like, we have no conversation. We have no Avengers.
You know, like Earth's mightiest heroes.
Yeah. So like I said, the only thing that really surprised me that I didn't know about story-wise was Aunt May's death. That's another thing. I know the Uncle Ben storyline as a point of contention in the MCU, because they haven't shown it, even though we're going to get it in Spider-Man freshman year probably. But at least we know that he won't say, with great power comes... Ooh, so we might not get it, because he never says the line.
Because that happens later.
I'm not sure I'm happy having her say it for the first time. I almost would have preferred her to say, remember what your Uncle Ben always said, or something like that. I liked how Sam Jackson's character said a version of it. You know, you got talent, but what are you going to do with it, or however he words it in Far From Home. Yeah. It was just another one of those story choices where I'm not sure. Was that a Sony-ism, or was that a somebody today just trying to correct what they felt as a wrong? I don't know. But I wasn't happy.
Just because they haven't done it yet, it was important they did it so they can all have that moment.
So they can have that moment.
It's kind of like putting off Avengers Assemble. Even I don't think it is necessary to say, and like you said, it's never said word by word the same in any of these three movies, but yeah, it basically is said in Far From Home, just not the great responsibility. And I don't think they say the word responsibility in Amazing Spider-Man either. He's like, you know, when you'd be a fool not to use your power or something like that, because they didn't want to copy each other exactly.
Yeah, but and that's fine. Like I said, I almost would have preferred it to be like a, you know, remember what Uncle Ben had said. They made May Ben, and it's kind of like getting, if you want to look at it, this is kind of like Spider-Man's origin movie.
That's what I was going to say. This is an origin trilogy. Kind of like the first three, I would say, Bond movies with Craig are kind of building up to being Bond, and then he's Bond for like the last two. No, maybe first two movies takes him to become Bond.
Maybe.
And I felt like this trilogy is him finally becoming adult, you know, not just adult Spider-Man, but the Spider-Man. And like Andrew Garfield having to save Mary Jane, and just the expression, like after saving, there's just a lot of sweet, like it really does feel like you really should rewatch every movie before you see this. I say that about every Marvel movie, but like you get all the, like, there's so many references from me and Kyle who watched them all in the last 2 months.
There wasn't anything in there I needed to watch Amazing one or two ever again for. I already knew all the references they made in that. I knew Gwen Stacy that dies because he couldn't save her. I know he turns the lizard back. What I'm saying is you don't need to ever watch Amazing 1 or 2 ever again, ladies and gentlemen. You really don't. You get all the best stuff in this movie anyways.
Yeah.
Because Marvel did it better. Yeah, they spent a lot of time showing how corny and goofy the villains, the villain origins, and how kind of corny and goofy Garfield and Maguire are, and their universes are. And of course, I'm like, ha, because it's in stark comparison to the MCU, which Cam, one of the contributors at LRM and one of our senior editors on several of our podcasts as well, Dragon Reviewed and the Cantina, he even pointed out, like, it's weird on how corny that, electric eels powering the city, falling into a science experiment for Sandman. That's all crazy, but they're like, oh, you've got wizards, like that's crazy. Like,
there's magic here, like all the villains and all the heroes basically ask that at some point. They're like, there's magic here.
Magic's real.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's fucking.
And when they're talking about aliens, well, I guess the main alien conversation is in the post-credit
I want to
scenes.
Fight an alien. I like.
That too. I would have liked to have gone to space because Tobey Maguire does talk about the suit. He's like, there was a alien that like covered my suit once, and then
and Garfield,
I wish I went to space.
I wish I fought an alien or something. Yeah, I liked it. They landed it
do well together. I think it's very good chemistry between the three of them.
Yeah, I think the hug is also another. The hug amongst the Spider-Men was another moment that was like, come on, I get it. You guys are like, hey, thank you for getting me this spot for the third time's the charm, but again, it took a few seconds to
That's
long.
Also why I compare this to Endgame, and I couldn't say it in the non-spoiler section, is it feels like it closes off both their stories better than Spider-Man 3 or Amazing Spider-Man 2 did. Like, because there was supposed to be a Spider-Man 4, there was even a poster for it, and it got canceled.
I don't really think
and there was never a Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 3, and there was supposed to be like 2 sequels. So I think this kind of closed out where Tobey Maguire just references he's still with MJ, and I think it closes out those 2 characters' stories, and now we hopefully will never see them again.
I wouldn't count on never seeing them again, but I would say to a degree for Maguire, just because you hear that one throwaway conversation line about no, we made it work, or whatever he says about his MJ. Maybe a little bit, but they don't really go into any great detail.
No, and they don't need to.
With a lot of the trailer shit. One, the Wong not wanting Strange to do the spell, and then they use that same line of "Don't cast that spell"
in the post-credit sequence.
In the post,
which is a trailer for Madness.
Weird. But what was I gonna?
I did like that Wong was the Sorcerer Supreme because because of a technicality.
He was blipped. Yep, he was blipped out. Someone's got to take it over. I mean, that makes sense. What was I gonna say?
Sorry,
I don't remember, man.
Post credit.
I guess
scenes.
Yeah. Oh, extra credit scenes. Yeah. The Venom thing.
Venom already left, but he left a part of the suit. I think that could lead in a really cool direction.
I'm not sure how part of the symbiote can be left behind, but I'm telling you, separation anxiety. That's going to be the name of Venom 3.
Technically, do you think they'll do the real Venom story? Then bring in Tom Hardy, like that piece does get on Tom Holland. He knows nothing about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but like, do you think we'll see Tom Holland get the suit and not understand what it is, and then
he's not going to have the suit on in his own movie? I don't think.
You don't think
it's going to be Venom 3?
I did love the Venom scene. Is really funny. I don't know. Even before
it's funny.
And then it made. I was like, why is he not getting dissolved back? And I'm like, oh, he does.
Yeah.
But it's still weird because I mean, there are technicalities, like the rules they set up aren't really true, where they're like everyone who knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and it's like no, the girlfriends didn't show up.
It was weird how all the villains were going to come through, and they show outlines. And I did tell you that I didn't think that that the stuff in the sky didn't show the multiverse breaking. Like I think the stuff that we see in Loki, the show, will be looked at more in Ant-Man and the Wasp dealing with time and Kang. I think maybe we might see some stuff similar with that timeline fracturing, like in our logo down below, guys, and at the end screen. We might see that more. But I was looking. What did you think about seeing like the Rhino and the Rhino suit?
I couldn't tell. I couldn't really notice anything. I saw one figure clearly. That must have been Rhino, but I didn't like. There was so much to process.
Oh,
okay. There's a lot in those.
There was a Scorpion. I think I even saw a Vulture in there.
Which are already in his universe, but of course there are variants in different universes.
Exactly, and it's just like the one clear image of Rhino that you see looks like the old cartoon.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
They do reference him fighting a Rhino in a robotic suit. It was it's interesting that I forgot what I was going to say. It had to do with the breakage of the timeline. I don't know, whatever. Okay, let's talk about the final post-credit scene, and then we can wrap it up.
Multiverse of Madness. I hate it when they put trailers as a.
Well, people kept saying there would be a trailer before the movie comes out, and I'm like, wouldn't that spoil the sequel? So I mean, there was rumored to be there, and then I saw someone say no, it's not, which was someone lying and saving me. But yeah, it was kind of like Avengers, where it's like rather than having a real post-credit sequence at the end, it's like this movie is obviously a direct lead into Multiverse of Madness, including it looks like I mean, I know there have been rumors and stuff, but it looks like What If is very, 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 very much canon based on the trailer. And we saw our friend who we've always suspected, that creature with all the arms that goes between dimensions.
They're giving him a different name. It's not going by Shuma Gorath or Shima Gorath or whatever. But yeah, we saw the Dark Supreme or whatever he's called. The Bad Strange, Baron Mordo back. I love that. Interesting enough, no Spider-Man in here.
It makes sense though. He's off on his own path now, especially with everyone forgetting him.
There's one more movie he's supposed to show back up in, and we all thought it would be No Way Home, because once again, we're not moving forward in the MCU timeline. We're still stuck right after Endgame.
It's like, they're keeping it. Maybe they'll keep it all in 2023 until we catch up, which we're very close to catching up.
We are very, very
especially
close
with the delay, a whole year delay on some of the movies help them catch up. Yeah. I will say, I don't know. Doctor Strange looks awesome. I mean, they didn't show a lot. You got to see America Chavez. She was barely in it, but I mean, if you know that she's even on the wrap shirt, and if you know she is, it was cool to see her. And of course, you got Wong and Baron Mordo and Scarlet Witch in her full. But we see both more of a normal Wanda and a full-on Scarlet Witch Wanda. And she doesn't seem. I'd heard rumors, and I even figured in my head she might be the villain, but he goes to her for help, and it looks like the main villain is some combination of evil Doctor Strange and the monster, if they aren't the same thing, because of what happened in that What If episode. And Mordo, but Mordo seems like more of a side character than. If you watch the first movie, you assume he's going to be the main villain next time. But if there's multiverse,
still will be.
Yeah, he might be orchestrating a lot of it or helping to break the multiverse.
Yeah, we'll see. I tell you guys that love Fox, get excited. I hope they can do nostalgia. At least as well as they did with the Spider-Man movies. But I'll tell you what, I have a lot more hatred for the Fox properties for the majority of them.
I don't want to see any of those actors show up as the same characters. I liked Ralph Boner. That was fine.
Yeah, that was fun.
I don't need to actually see any of the original actors playing their characters.
You're going to get them. Cope with it, Nick.
All I want is Wolverine and Deadpool 3.
Nope. See, that's your problem. It's like all you Game Pass lovers. You're like, man, it's great for me to get 100 or 10 items in a year for the price of one. That's a great business model. You wanted Wolverine. You made somebody else who said, well, I want so and so. Well, guess what? So and so is going to be in it. And it's your fault, Nick.
I'm part of the problem. But I did.
Was
kind of to wrap it up. It did. Just like the first movie where you're balancing like Tinkerer and Shocker. I'm the Shocker. And like Vulture. I thought it balanced everything nicely. It would be nice to see more Norman Osborn. It always would be nice to see more Norman Osborn. But he basically kind of had the main villain plot.
Well, just remember, they gave all of those villains a chance to go back to their universes fixed, which...
But again, I like the idea of I don't want to be fixed with him because he's like I am the Green Goblin. Well, I watched through weak Norman Osborn's eyes, or like even until he's given the chip, Dr. Octopus being like, I don't want to be fixed. Like I like these arms are telling me what to do. It's cool. Or Electro's like, I don't want to lose my electric powers.
Yeah, but
Sandman just goes mental for no reason. It feels like
that was kind of
he should just press the button himself. If he goes home, he could be with his daughter and like.
Same with Connors. It was kind of like, why are you guys running amok? It doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to be honest.
Anyways.
I didn't think it was their voices at all until we saw the human versions of them for a few seconds.
I do.
Thomas Hayden Church didn't sound like himself at first, but later he did. And I had no idea about Lizard. I couldn't remember that actor's voice, but anyway. Ralph
something
Eanes or something. Rice Eanes or Ryan.
Right. Reese Infus or Infans or some shit like
I will say also bravo, Marvel, giving us Matt Murdock and Kingpin, the original actors, in the same week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we seem to be on the right track. I'm happy with Marvel. Best Marvel project I've seen this year. Finally, I can say I liked one of the movies better than the TV shows. So
there you go. All right, guys, please hit that subscribe button. If you're watching us on the LRM's YouTube channel, keep an eye and an ear out for when we launch the Genreverse YouTube channel. That might not be the name of it. We'll see. Follow us on whatever app you might be listening to on your favorite podcast app, Genreverse Podcast Network. Check out lrmonline.com, genreverse.com. Nick and I have our social media information down below at the Genreverse and at LRM_exclusive are the sites and networks stuff on Twitter. Nick, anything else, bud?
Excelsior.
Stuff said. Talk to you guys later. Bye.